hi everybody. Back again this time I am with legend of all things fantasy related Tracy Hickman.
Hey, thank you. I'm feeling a little on the legendary side.
Well, it's just the fact that interviewing you, I kind of feel like I'm interviewing God a little bit.
I hope not.
As far as like, I guess I don't need to start going off about how awesome this man is. He is. He invented Dragonlance. He wrote lots and lots of books. But the stuff you're doing right now, though, you got Scribe Scourge, which you're starting,
yeah.
And what I was just talking to you, or hearing people talk to you about before this, your Eventide book in the series is having a very limited run.
Yeah.
Subscribers only, really, and then whoever can find you to buy the book and its series. So why did you decide to start doing both of these, really? Like you're doing your chapter subscription website and then Scribe Scourge, which teaches people how to do that.
Well, there's been a lot of changes that's taking place in terms of publishing right now. The old traditional publishing ways aren't working anymore. A lot of that's due to ebooks, and part of that's changing the economy. But ebooks have had a huge impact, the media's had a huge impact. And people are changing the way that they buy books and the way that they read books. What we call brick and mortar stores, like the Barnes and Nobles and the old stores that have all seemed to have started to go out of business. People don't go to bookstores anymore the way they used to. We used to go and we look through the stacks and we try to find a book that fit to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of call to us.
The glory of having them all lined up. And you can pull them
exactly. Look at them, feel them, and see if you have a connection with them. We don't do that anymore. We go to Amazon and look for a book that's there and that we think is going to connect with us. And it's all become very impersonal. And we just recently heard from Amazon that they now sell more ebooks than actual hard books.
It's one of those dreaded days for a lot of publishers waiting for when that happens.
Well, it is, because publishers really don't know what to do about ebooks. And the truth is that people are reading more now than they were before, thanks to the Kindles and the books.
I hadn't heard about that.
Oh yeah. Well, my personal experience has been, I got a Kindle for Christmas this last year.
Okay.
I thought, oh, that would be nice. Yeah. But I found myself reading again. Because I could take the book with me, and not only could I take the book with me, I could take every book with me. I didn't have to decide which book I was taking with me. I just bring my whole library with me.
Very true.
And so I found myself reading more than I was before because I could pick up my book wherever I was. And it's an interesting phenomenon. My wife's the same way. She got a Kindle. I got her a Kindle for her Mother's Day gift. And she thought, oh, wouldn't that be nice? But she carries it with her everywhere and reads all the time.
I don't have a Kindle. I hadn't really thought about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can take your entire library with you wherever you go, and whatever you feel in the mood you need to read, you read. And so, if you find something you want to read, you can look it up on the Kindle, from your Kindle, download it, and start reading.
So pretty much this is a Kindle commercial right now.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. I'll get mine from Amazon later. Well, that's actually not true. In fact, I've even started publishing on Kindles. The Eventide book's available on Kindle, for example. And
so is it only the print book that is limited run?
Yeah, the print book is limited run. If you want to get a copy and read the book, you can go to Amazon.com. You can download the book there. But the interesting thing about the book, and there's one right there, actually, if you want to pull it out, so we can show people what we're talking about. Yeah, right there. Yeah. This is the Eventide book. And the thing about a hard book like this, and someone once said to me that the hard book is the souvenir of the experience. It doesn't have to be the way you experience it the first time, but it is the souvenir that you put on the shelf that you can hold and touch from
you've actually read this.
That you've actually read this thing, and that you are connected to it. And very often, your experience should be, and if it's like mine, you have your library full of books that's in your house, and you look at that library full of books. You don't necessarily take the books off the shelf, but when you see them there, you can revisit that place where you were when you read that book. And so it is very much like the souvenir of the experience. And so what we did with this book is that we did it on a subscription basis, which is the way that Charles Dickens used to publish during the last century. And that Conan Doyle wrote most of the Sherlock Holmes that way.
Those were a very different style of novel we're used to. So are you seeing like even writing it Eventide? Because from what I understand, Charles Dickens, he goes on for a while sometimes in his books because they're released serially.
Yes.
Very different than the novel today. Was Eventide different that way, or were you really aiming it to be a more traditional novel that's just released?
We were aiming it to be a traditional novel like this, released chapter by chapter. And William Goldman says that the story is structure. And if the structure is solid and in place from the beginning, then it's possible to write in serial chapters as you know where you're going.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that you're not surprised by the text as we were, and that doesn't mean that you don't rearrange chapters, and sometimes you do. Sometimes they expand, sometimes they contract. But it does mean that you can approach it from the standpoint of structure first, and then you can release chapters in a reasonable sequence that way. So we were able to do Eventide. Last year we did Eventide, and at the end of the experience, everyone got their chapters online. But when all of the chapters were released, then we published the collection of hardback books, these limited hardback books, and we sent one to every subscriber.
Yeah.
And that's an entirely different model in terms of publishing the way publishing is traditionally been.
That's what I'm really curious about, is with your Scribe Forge workshop, you're teaching people how to do this.
Absolutely.
As for you, I mean, you've already got an established following. You say, I'm doing this, and all of your fans do it. Without ruining your Scribe's Forge, maybe giving people a taste if they want to sign up for it, how does the unknown author do that? Like, let people know they've got a book out and that they should.
Today, it is no different for a first-time author than it is for an established author. I have a worldwide audience. We have millions of books that are in print. I've got 56 books in print currently, and in most languages worldwide.
Okay.
Even so, my audience has moved. It used to be I could go to a bookstore, people would come to a bookstore and they would say, oh, there's a new Tracy Hickman book out, we need to buy that book. But they don't go there anymore. They're online. And so despite the fact that I have a worldwide following and that I've been a published author for over 30 years, they don't know where I am anymore. And it's the same problem with a new author. And so I am dealing with the same problem that new authors are dealing with, which is acquiring an online audience, engaging them in a conversation,
Letting them know where to find your book.
letting them know where to find it. Exactly. And so the problems are the same. And so one of the things that we talk about in our Scribes Forge workshops is how do you deal with new media publishing? How do you acquire an audience?
Okay, I guess I'm not getting a free lesson then. I'll have to sign up.
Well, there are a lot of
there
are actually some things that you can do. And interestingly enough, one of the most important things you can do is to come to conventions like CONduit, which is where your audience is.
True. I've talked to Howard Taylor. He mentioned that too. That he
Yeah.
never really met his people until he came to conventions like this. These is where his real audience was, not in the places where most webcomics think their audience is.
Yeah, and it was a real surprise to Howard when that happened. I will tell you one thing. Here's one thing that I do, and I've been doing this at the convention. This is a bookmark. Scribes Forge bookmark, right? If you take a bookmark to this to a convention, like CONduit, this is trash waiting to happen. This is the kind of thing that would paper the floor of any convention. This won't even make it to the trash. That's too far.
Is that what you're counting on? Someone's going to reach down and pick it up when they find it?
Well,
it's just going to circulate.
Here's the difference, and this is here's the freebie lesson. Okay, here's the difference. If I give this to somebody, or just leave it on the table in front of me, and maybe they'll take it. Maybe I can force it on. Maybe I can push it on my eye. But they will forget this. But the moment that I sign it, and I've designed these myself so that there's a place to sign. I have established a personal connection. We live in an impersonal age, but this is what people want, is a personal connection.
Can I have that?
Well, why, yes, you can.
Thank you. And see, it worked perfectly. I'm going to keep this now. So for the rest of my life, I'm going to have Scribes Forge, and Blackshore sticking out of my book sack.
And in this particular case, it comes with a discount coupon online, so you get 20% off the library. We get more traffic from that, from my personally contacting people and handing them something myself, than any kind of advertising. I've thrown money at advertising in Google ads or Facebook ads. None of them have resulted in sales. None of them have resulted in any positive cash flow at all. But this one thing gains more traffic, more actual sales, more actual audience participation than any of those other things.
So, I mean, there's no shortage of conventions out there, but it seems to me like if this is the way things are going, we're going to see an increase of more so that people can still get that personal connection with their authors and their fans.
And I think we need more personal connection with each other. We live in such an impersonal age. People like to play D&D. We used to get together and play D&D games. It was great because it was us together socializing. We don't do that anymore. What we do is we get online and we push pixels. And the bandwidth is so narrow that we cannot understand one another. There's no real personal experience that's involved there. What I like about conventions is that it's people talking to people. It's the personal connection, entering into a conversation with each other. And it's one of the things we talk about in Scribes Forge as being very important. Scribes Forge are writing seminars. We do teach people writing techniques. There are video seminars that I've done there that talk about writing techniques and workbooks and that sort of thing. But the most important thing on that are forums. Because not only are they all new writers who are looking for new ways to create a career, but I'm there. And I administer those forums personally, and I answer their questions about writing.
That is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been doing this for 30 years. We need to give back the tools. We need to, everything that I have learned, not only about traditional publishing, but everything that I've learned about the new media publishing is something that everybody needs to take advantage of. Something I definitely need to pass on.
Well, I know there's people starting to come in here. I think we might.
And not for me.
Time.
So yes, I think we are.
But thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.